Hello, everybody. Happy, blessed, amazing 2024 to all of you. Welcome to Miss Energy's Fireside Chat. And our first topic for this year is all about talent. Okay, so aside from the year's 2024 is being predicted to bring lots of fresh starts and healing. This is according to Google, okay? Talent is still the multiplier in business. Whether you're a small startup, you're medium size, you are large corporations, talent is still quite simply will bring you to your growth, metrics and, probably achieve what you need to achieve for the years to come. So the more energy and attention that you invest in talent, the greater the yield. The time that you spend with talented and brilliant people is quite simply your best productive time. So let us start with two of my charismatic and intelligent friends, Joanne and Aleks, the founders of People with a D. All right. So Joanne has 15 years of combined experience within the field of talent acquisition and HR leadership. As a matter of fact, she was part of my hiring and landing my best role yet ever in Oracle NetSuite as country channel sales director on 2015, where she followed me around with my mom on Christmas Day inside Starbucks Shangri-La Mall in Manila just to ensure that I signed the offer sheet. Can you imagine? Before the year ends, talk about commitment to her senior management and KPI. That's Joanne. So Joanne has been covering IT, e-commerce within Southeast Asia in the areas of consulting, MNC startups. She has successfully served talent requirements for the big boys, such as Oracle NetSuite, IBM, SAP. While Aleks has more than 7 years of progressive talent acquisition experience, people operations, and consulting experience within Southeast Asia, Europe, Middle East region, serving talent requirements for hypergrowth and remote-first startups. His playground has been in the technology, digital marketing, and even gaming. So he can talk talent strategy, process, and candidate experience. So without further ado, guys, let us welcome Joanne and Aleks. Happy New Year, guys.
Hi,
Thank you, Reed.
Happy New Year.
Thank you,
How
Reed.
are
Thanks for
you?
having us.
Of course, of course. So finally, so Joanne, are you in Manila, Philippines right now? You are, right? And Aleks, you are in Bangkok.
I'm in Bangkok, yes.
All right. Yeah. So how's the food treating you in Bangkok? Still spicy, moderate spicy?
Still spicy, yeah. Always spicy. It's lovely.
I love
Thai
it.
food is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So I think the audience is very excited to really, learn more about you and how did you land, in people and how did you uh, meet? So probably you can walk through us, Joanne, Aleks.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is sort of a long story, but if we try to cut it a bit shorter, I think for me, like many recruiters, I think I didn't have the most straightforward route into recruitment. I did internships here in Asia and enjoyed it. Got offered a management traineeship here, and the company that I did the traineeship in was growing a lot. So when I was rotated into the HR department, they were doing tons of hiring. So that's what I was put on. I guess I did a good job because was then put into recruitment full time to lead that team after my traineeship ended. Since then, worked uh, e-commerce companies, some consulting also for tech and e-commerce, gaming, as you mentioned, even digital marketing, and have ended up here starting our own a few years ago. So that's sort of the short version.
Yeah. What about you, Joanne? Do you have anything interesting on how you started?
So pretty much it was mentioned during the introduction. So I started my career really doing headhunting for an executive search firm here in the Philippines. So we were focusing on technical recruiting for BPO clients. I think when I started, that's the time when the BPO industry was really growing here in the Philippines. And then from there, I just worked with various IT companies, like what you mentioned, IBM, NetSuite, and SAP, where I was covering both local and international hiring across all levels. And then, additionally to that, I also gained some startup experience working as HR head and also handling the recruitment part of the business. During my stay, because I worked in Vietnam for 3 years prior to starting people, and also prior to meeting Alex and setting up people.
Yeah, you mentioned a lot of good Asia like cities like Vietnam. I'm just mentioning that I smell the pho and all the spring rolls. Oh my God, I'm a foodie. So yeah, Alex, I have a question. How did you and Joanne join forces?
So, Joan was actually my candidate at one point. So I've tried to hire Joe to, at the time, actually to be my manager. So what happened was that didn't quite come through at the time, but we stayed in contact and sort of continuously developed our relationship. We talked a lot about recruitment. We're both working in startups, so a lot of the frustrations surrounding that. And at one point, I think we realized that we're both walking around with a similar idea. We're both a little bit bored at the time of working for someone else, and we're like, hey, we believe we can actually fix some of these problems that startups are having when they want to grow, when they want to scale. So so we basically realized that we have this similar idea of creating a more startup centric recruitment consultancy. Um, and we kind of just went for it,
What was that year? Was that 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
20, 2020, I think, right, Joe? We're kind of plotting and scheming.
We were a company, so that's why the team is remote first. So everything started when we were all in lockdown. But I think we able to navigate our way around during that time. So Alex was working or was working on base in Thailand while I was still in Vietnam that time.
So it's Thailand and Vietnam, together. And thank you, God, for a boundaryless, like cloud and all this video conferencing and sending documents. Yeah, very good. So next question is, I really love the company name, no? Peopled. So who started that idea?
Yeah, so pretty much Alex and I coming from both very corporate companies and also having that experience working for startups. We didn't want to sound too corporate or too serious, so we were playing around with some words, researching until we came across the word people. And I think it really translates and it really represents what we wanted to do as an organization or as a company, helping startup and scale up companies find the right talent for them. And when we were looking up for the definition, it really means along the lines of to fill an area with a particular group of inhabitants, which really reflected the mission and how we want to support the different startups and scale up companies within the region.
Yeah, it's perfect. So it makes you excited. You know that you can solve big pains, right? And challenges not only, to your community or to your company, but I think, for the rest of the world. So my next question is, what keeps you excited? As Joanne, you take care of the company's like operations. I believe Alex is more of the customer facing founder, right? Of people. So as Joanne, what makes you excited like right now for people?
Yes. Actually, since personally I've been doing recruitment for quite some time already. I think I really found my purpose in terms of connecting talent and businesses and helping them, find the right fit. So for us, it's exciting to be part of our partners or our clients growth by finding the right people and helping them on board in their own business growth and business. So it's it's very different when you work with companies coming from different levels of where their businesses are. So I think seeing how this company grows and helping them find the right talent is really exciting, and it's also very fulfilling. That's
Yeah, it's like giving them the keys to their brand new house. Yeah, it will really go well. They will love the house. They will love
true.
the talent, and
Yes.
Yeah.
the
And I
talent
think
promoted.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
think it's also like, for example, you are one of my candidates, and
Yeah.
I've seen you
Yeah,
grow in
see
your
me.
career from there, and I think it's the fulfillment of seeing the talent also very happy with the opportunities that we help them find for them.
Yeah, I think I am, well, I mean, modesty aside, I think I'm probably one of your, you can say, your like award or trophy, because you've seen me until now. I'm very, very happy. I made NetSuite, Oracle as a family, and you've seen me hosting them at home, even, with my mom, and, everybody until now is our friend, is my friend. So I'd like to thank you, Joanne, for really pushing and following me while I'm sipping my frappuccino in Starbucks
Mhm.
and
Right?
really
Because
me on
remember, it was
sign that
a
contract
Christmas.
for, yeah, for Oracle. Yeah, you're amazing. So how about
That
Alex? What
story, yeah. I mean, that
I,
story is so good. That
it's
story is
so
so good, and I
good.
think
Oh,
it speaks so much to, like, it's the same, right? Because you're doing sales, we're doing recruitment. At the end of the day, it's a people business, right? So it's really all about the relationships, and I think, yeah, I think for me as well, like what gets me excited too is the opportunity to work, like both on the candidate side, but also before, especially when you work in house, you work more traditional agency. Maybe in house you'd have one, or a couple of like senior managers. Here we get to work across with many different founders, many different very senior, very experienced people. So we get to be in, a lot of very interesting conversations about the market, about their businesses. Um, so just that interaction, that access to some very smart, very impressive people, and the opportunity to help them actually grow their business and hit their goals. I think that's something that, yeah, that really gets me out of bed in the morning.
oh, it gets you out of bed. And just by listening to you, I can feel you, Alex. Like you are really happy, with what you do. And I think it's a luxury that you are providing them. Look at the big picture. When Joanne was just, when she was just committed to onboard me, she didn't really know that my mom needed, like lots of hospitalization and, big money. And I think Joanne even knows how I help my family and my parents, and, gave them the best of the best medical treatments, doctor. Why? Because Joanne was very instrumental in pushing me to sign the contract. It was a paper. It was just a paper, but it gave me the world. I was able to give my mom the world. So those people who really know me, well, aside from Joanne, they really know that NetSuite opportunity that Joanne was part of the, instruments really changed my life and a lot of people's life, business partners' life, and NetSuite employee staff's life. And, from a simple car, because of the team, we were able to meet metrics. Joanne was there and was able to buy good cars, hire upgraded houses. So it's like a big picture, and I totally believe and support people. You and Joanne are really, the instruments of hope that people can still transfer to another job, better job, and the business owners can be more productive because you're sending them the right talent. So can you tell us some of the common challenges that you see in hiring for your clients, especially in the startup industry?
Yeah, so especially for more early stage startups, because when we were um, talking about people and discussing what type of partners or clients do we focus on, startups came up to mind because Alex and I both work for startups and scale up companies. So what we observed is that there is a lack of capacity and in-house experience to handle recruitment when they need to start scaling their teams and their businesses because as we know, startups really start with small teams and very focused functions. So this is where we also come into the picture and help them.
Yeah. I think like you usually, like, just to add to that, like usually startups get to a point, right, where they'll either need to build the talent acquisition function in-house, so really from scratch, start hiring people and putting processes and things in place, which is can both be expensive, but also take a lot of time, right, a lot of effort. Um, the other opportunity, the other option is that they work with more traditional headhunters, and like, I think everyone knows that's quite expensive. So usually this is kind of the positioning of people, right? And what we do is we actually come in often at that point, that inflection point where they need to grow, and instead of having to build everything from scratch, we kind of come with a proven model. We have the experience. We're much, like, I don't want to be too arrogant about this, but at least we have a proven method and processes that work, that we can adapt to our individual clients' business. So we come in with a team that has experience in hiring and scaling for startups, so we can bring in those processes, so we can actually help them sort of scale up their recruitment efforts and their processes much quicker, I think, and more cost effective than say going with traditional recruitment agency or having to build from scratch.
Yeah. Actually, this is a very interesting question now that we're talking and chatting. Have you ever imagined or thought about like providing resources or consultants? Let's say you, Joanne, are really, I know your heart belongs to somehow the NetSuite people, right? And you know how brilliant they are, our resources. Have you ever thought, you and Alex, like you will partner with a brand and then give NetSuite functional managers, the best of the best in the Philippines, to enterprises? Have you ever thought of that?
I mean, yeah, like, so this is the thing we found out too, right? So what our idea was, we're gonna work with all these early stage startups, and that's gonna be what we're gonna do. But in reality, and we've definitely worked with quite a few already, but we've also worked with a couple of actual unicorn startups already. We've worked with much more established businesses that have 8-10 years plus, like, in business. So so what we've figured out is that we're still in the same segment, right? Like tech and maybe like tech adjacent type, and like roles and people that we're placing, but it's not just for startups. We're actually helping businesses across the whole spectrum.
Even large conglomerates, if somebody wants, like all SAP 20 functional, I think you and John can also, benefit from that, because I think you have a lot of ERP like network. So anyway, it's just me. I was just trying to think about some of the channels that, definitely like people can really earn revenue, another promotion. So which brings me back to, what else can we expect from people aside from all this hiring, like recruitment, giving talents, any specific exciting things that you are working on?
Yeah. So I think people, in terms of what we offer, it's continuously evolving. So initially, we started providing talent to partners or our clients based in Southeast Asia. Then eventually, sometimes opportunities just knocks and of course we would need to consider. So one of the things that we started doing already last year is connecting um, Europe and Asia. So we were able to place some European candidates to move or even relocate in Southeast Asia. And then we are already doing other way around, connecting Europe to Asian talents. we've already started that also. And I think it's pretty exciting to continue developing this area. The world is getting smaller. And I think there's so much opportunities that both companies and talents can explore, especially with the space where we are at, the technology space. There's so much innovation and there's so much growth happening. So I think it's for us, it's exciting to continue to explore this opportunity.
Yeah, I'm very excited for you. Just if I'm the candidate and I'm a Filipina or I'm from Thailand and I want to really go far, to US, or I want to see Paris, or like dine in Rome, it's spaghetti. I mean, you can tap on those kind of talents that are really not only brilliant and expert in whatever they do. Let's say a developer or a consultant for ERP, and then fly them to those who need them. As you said, the world is so small, and it's also helping their families. And at the same time, those Europeans enjoying the white sand, sugar sand of Philippines, Thailand, right, Alex? I know you love all this white sand, aquamarine water. So yeah, why not? Yeah,
And there's also a lot of remote work opportunities right now. So not necessarily that
so
talent needs
physically, yeah,
yes. So there's a lot of companies, let's say, coming from Europe who wants to hire remote teams based in data. So that's something also that we're excited to further explore and
very hard
further,
working chance. Yep,
yes,
correct.
help companies with.
Agree. Yeah, and then why not? If they have commissions or bonus, then fly. and go to those tropical paradise. Um so if someone, definitely, so this will be published anyway, so if someone is in the position of needing to grow and find the best talents for them, what are the things that they should focus or they should consider, Alex?
They should consider talking to us. But no, that being said, I mean, on a more serious note, I think it's a hard question to answer, right? I think it really depends on the individual business, that what situation they're in. In general, I do think that um, businesses often sometimes underestimate how difficult and how time consuming it is to hire and to do, good, thorough recruitment. So yeah, depending on the business needs, you would have quite different solutions to achieving your hiring goals. But I do think that many companies who find themselves underperforming in the area of recruiting, it's it's often also that you're either underinvesting or or investing in the wrong things in terms of your recruitment and your talent acquisition function.
And also the market is still very competitive. So especially when it comes to higher levels or tech hiring, if the company is not focusing on crafting a really great value proposition for their potential employees, it's still going to be very challenging for them to go to market and try to sell the opportunities to the talents that they need to bring into their organization.
Yeah, I think especially the market as it is now, right? If most companies find themselves, at least the type of companies we work with, it's so competitive that it's impossible to always like work on everything all at once. You can't make sure that you have the strongest employer brand in the market and so on. But in terms of process and in terms of at least really making sure that you have a really strong employee value proposition and you know how to pitch it, and you know how to create a situation where it isn't just a one-way street and it's just you trying to hire candidates, but you're actually trying to really get them interested in you as well. I think that's really something to always think about, if you want to get great candidates.
And I think if I'm the company HR director, I'm the owner, having a partner like you who has experience, consolidating or attracting talent, will also act as their advisory partner, because sometimes you need an advisor who has been there, done that. And when I look at your profile, both of you, you have served big boys, like big technology companies, small, large, and your domain experience is not just very plain or basic. I think companies should understand that they're not working with, like basic people. They're working with those like a Joanne and Alex who have served requirements of sophisticated enterprises, and that you can act as their advisory and the extension of their HR capability. And what's not to like about you and Alex? I mean, I signed your offer sheet because I really also believe that your personality sells, right? So, well, that's just my opinion because I have a personal experience with Joanne, right? And with Alex, we have also worked together, on some sales or marketing, whatever partnership. But thank you so much, guys, for opening up. And again, this is like January is a fresh start, right? It's a new beginning of exposing our talents and our value to the world. And what a good platform there is for Miss Energy to have both of you, Joanne and Alex. And for sure, this is going out, right? And with all our LinkedIn network, our business, friends and family, we will definitely advertise and promote, what you do, your business. And yeah, and definitely I would like also to see you and work with you on some other, opportunities for talent, not only for talent acquisition, but developing talents inside the organization. So happy New Year.